Baldur's Gate 3 is the breakout hit of 2023. Larian Studios has done an incredible job giving players a freedom of action and choice never before seen in a AAA video game. And yes, part of that freedom and choice comes in the form of sex and sexuality. This is power fantasy at its purest form. Every character will be interested in you if you want. Some are more open about it than others, but this is all about your choice and your agency. You choose your outward appearance. You choose your voice. You choose your genitals. You can make a heterosexual human male and pursue any or all of the female characters. You can make an androgynous gnome and have your way with everyone. How about an ace elven femboy who prefers to keep everything platonic? You choose. The developer isn't shoehorning a heterosexual or homosexual narrative into your story unless you want it. Just like our own reality, Baldur's Gate 3 takes place in a mature world where sex and sexuality exist. Most games avoid this completely, where everything takes place in a completely sterile and sexless world. Like, I'm not sure where all those bandits I killed in Skyrim come from, when there are only a few thousand NPCs and 38 children. I mean, Todd Howard has kids, so I'm pretty sure he knows where babies come from. Others, like Cyberpunk 2077, present a more cartoonish take on sex and sexuality while filling rooms with piles of dildos. The only forced sexuality is at the start of the game, when you are forcibly impregnated with an illithid tadpole that is supposed to transform you into a monstrous mind flayer. This is technically a rape scene, in that this is sex for an illithid and you absolutely did not consent. The game does an excellent job showing this physical violation in a cutscene. The reality that you and the other victims have to deal with the ongoing aftermath of this violation is a fantastic metaphor for how real-life victims of sexual assault often continue to deal with their victimization through various forms of PTSD. At first, I was put off by how angry, damaged, and distrustful all of my companions were, but then with the realization that we were all victims of rape and enslavement, add to that the grim future of losing our identity and lives to our rapist, and it makes sense that everyone is so prickly. This is dark material, but fiction is exactly where we should be able to explore the darkness and the light of human existence. I literally spend the majority of my gameplay covered in the gore of my slain opponents, but various journalistic outlets claim that Baldur's Gate 3 is full of sex. I did the math. For every 10 hours of hacking and slashing the limbs off of hapless creatures of the Forgotten Realms, you're going to spend about 10 to 20 minutes being hit on. Now, I do understand for gaming journalists that is still an unbelievable amount of romantic attention, but maybe I'm just used to playing harem games. So far for me, Baldur's Gate 3 is an incredible experience with an amazing depth of gameplay. While a small fraction of that gameplay does include sex and sexuality, it does a fantastic job giving you, the player, the choice of how and what to experience. Baldur's Gate 3 is truly building upon the sexual legacy of past games like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and The Witcher series in a way that Cyberpunk 2077 failed. Here we are able to experience the euphoric highs and terrible lows of the human sexual experience as part of a greater narrative and journey that begins with the brutal acts of rape. In a world of increasing censorship and attacks on sex and sexuality by both the left and the right, Baldur's Gate 3 gives me hope for the future of gaming. Now I just hope that Starfield doesn't drop the ball. No pressure, Todd. Until next time, no shaming, just gaming. Thanks to all this month's support on Patreon. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you all.